Hey guys, welcome to ITFITSS podcast. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the ITFITSS podcast. Before we dive in, please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are his own and those of his guests. They do not reflect the views or opinions of his employer or any other organization he is affiliated with. Listeners' discretion is advised as we aim to foster open, honest, and sometimes challenging discussions. Enjoy the show.
Hey guys, welcome to the ITFITSS podcast. My name is Stephen Cody. I'm here with my co-host Heather. Want to say something, Heather?
Hi guys.
So this is our New Year's episode, and so we figured out that we decided that we were going to end up saying Happy New Year to everybody, and having some happy-go-lucky content to be able to share with everybody. However, we had some unfortunate events that ended up coming down the pipeline. So we kind of put a monkey wrench inside of our content, as well as getting this content out to you guys. So without further ado, we want to jump right into some of the content and some of the topics in which we want to end up talking about, and just having an open dialogue. So yeah, let's talk about it. Ready?
Let's go.
So, on New Year's at approximately 3:15 p.m. Oh no, this was 3:15 a.m. Yeah, 3:15 a.m. We had a gentleman who ended up breaking the barricade in the French Quarter right on Bourbon Street and ran over approximately 35 people who got injured, and 10 to 15 people got deceased. With that being said, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. Well, what did you end up coming to find out from the news broadcast that you ended up seeing?
So come to find out, it was a terrorist attack. It was not individually done. There was multiple people that were involved in it. They've got video footage of, I want to say 2 or 3 men and a lady that were planting IEDs around the city.
You see, I heard it. I think it was a little bit different. Heard that it was 2 women and a gentleman.
I believe it's 2 men and a gentleman, but I'm not sure. Don't quote nothing we say on this. We don't have
any facts or anything.
Right.
Like that.
It's just going off of what we've heard on news sources and everything like that. So we don't have the source. It's just kind of like what we've been gathering from everything that we've been hearing.
Right.
But then also he had an Airbnb in the quarters, and upon them getting in there was a little fire this morning. I want to say it was like around 5 o'clock a.m. I think it was, something like that, early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
No injuries. There was a small fire, but then upon gaining interest in the entrance into there, they found bomb making materials in there as well. So wow. They've gone to his home in Texas. He was a U.S. citizen. He was an Army veteran. He was born in the U.S. So to me, it's crazy. He rented this truck and he came here with the intent of hurting people.
Right. Yeah, that's what it said on the side of the new. I think it was it CNN or that we ended up watching Fox.
We watched quite a few different ones.
Yeah, and they were covering a lot of it on the side of there. So if you guys want to know more information about it, please go onto your national news broadcasting channels to get the facts and more details about it. But one of the things that I found that was kind of shocking was that he was inside of the military before. He's a military veteran.
Yeah. And then they said too he was going in with the intent of dying. He was in armored gear. He had headgear on, I think, or some type like that. And when he came out, he was in a military fatigue, I want to say.
Yeah.
So.
And see, that's one of the things that also kind of strikes me, takes me a little bit aside as well, is because, you know, we take a pledge on, you know, not to do any harm and, you know, to protect our country, you know? Mm-hmm. And so for him to be able to do something like that, and he was honorably discharged, you know? So it's like, I mean, was he suffering from PTSD? Like, I wonder if they end up getting into any of that type of details.
Well, I'm sure the FBI will once they do more investigations to see what, you know, what's going on. But I don't know. It's still mind-boggling, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it hasn't even been 24 hours, and you know, you still try to. And not only with this incident, any one where someone does something, it's kind of what was going through their head that makes them want to do something so heinous to innocent people that were just trying to enjoy a new year.
Right.
You know, I can't. Like, I get into the crime and, you know, that's my forte. You know, I like watching that crime stuff. But, you know, even watching that on, it's just I try to put my head to, like, nothing could make me want to do something like that. Like, what is people, you know, you drove all the way from Houston, Texas with the mindset of doing harm.
Right. I mean, and especially with it being a new year, I mean, this is when, you know, you're supposed to change and try and better yourself and, you know, enjoy that, you know, you actually went through a year and, you know, and now it's like, okay, well, how do I celebrate something when so much heinous stuff that keeps on going on, you know? In my opinion, it kind of detracts away from like all of the joy that you were supposed to have during this season, you know. And you have people drinking and being merry, and then now you focus more on the bad things that ended up happening, you know.
Yeah, especially in a big, you know, New Orleans is a high tourist place. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on down there. You know, Sugar Bowl had to be postponed till tomorrow. You know, now they're concerned about the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. You know, what's gonna happen? You know, as far as security wise, you know, they had barricades up. You know, they had police blocking the street, but he went around the police and went on the sidewalk to gain access to Bourbon. So he had a game plan. If he couldn't get down the street, he was going to get down Bourbon. And
yeah, he was hell bent. Yeah,
I mean, something. And then, you know, I also seen that and when he went around, he plowed. He went full-fledged, pedal to the metal. And he went down almost 3 blocks of Bourbon.
Wow.
And let's be realistic. We were there last year on Bourbon Street at New Orleans. We was down there that night on New Orleans last year. We was supposed to be there last night.
Right.
So being down there last year, seeing all the people, you know, watching from a balcony and just seeing all the people, you know, at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Like, he hit and injured a lot of people. And he went 2-3 blocks. So it's not like you're just going down a normal street in America where, you know, you may have some pedestrians. The street was completely covered with pedestrians because there's supposed to be no car access on there besides emergency vehicles. The little minibug things that the police drive around to, you know, and they're the little golf carts and stuff like that have access. But you're not anticipating to have a big F-150 come plowing down the street when you know the street was blocked off when you got on there.
Right.
So that's like one thing you have less to worry about.
Right.
And
a lot of times the police officers are on horseback.
Oh yeah.
You know, or on foot.
I seen them last night. Yeah. We were down there. We didn't go down to Bourbon to bring in the new year and think that we were actually out driving, doing share rides and just driving. I mean, they had a lot of stuff barricaded, marked off, police all over the place, you know, police out in like groups, you know, just in different locations, cars out used to, you know, block ways and stuff. And they had the horse mounted police as well. They were out active, you know, I went past a few where police were interacting with the people. They weren't, they were having a good time themselves, even having to be
Working
and patrolling, and just imagine what these people's families are going through, witnesses, going through this stuff to where it's kind of like it really puts a damper on things. Like, I've seen also on the news thing where there was a couple that they came here for a good time and I believe to go to the game, and they packed up and left. The lady was like, I don't want to be here no more.
Right.
So that really puts a
damper.
A damper, and it does not bring into a good new year. People not wanting to be here, you don't know what's going to happen. They found IUDs around the French quarters. I want to say I heard 3 they may have found.
Maybe.
And he had quite a few of them in the truck, and there was remote. They were triggered to be a remote, and I guess the remote detonator, whatever it was in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't plan on hitting that crane. I think he planned on getting all the way down Bourbon and then maybe detonating them. I don't know, the IUD, the IEDs, if you planned on like throw them out the windows or whatnot, but they were saying something that they were in like coolers or something like that, ice chests or something.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah, it's just, he really planned it out. It wasn't just a spur of the moment, like, I'm just gonna run these people over. It was planned out.
That's all sad. It's unforgivable, unquestionable. It's just blows my mind to where you're like, that all of these people, 30 plus, 40 plus people actually had almost 50 people.
A couple police officers that were shot. Yeah. There was a shootout,
Yeah.
2 officers got shot.
Right. Just that actually, it just ruined the whole experience for them whenever they end up coming down to New Orleans. But even with all of that being said, it's like, what's going to end up happening next with, the Rose Bowl? Not Rose Bowl, but the Jazz Fest and all the other things that we end up hosting that's out here,
The Super Bowl, that's another big thing that they're talking about Super Bowl, We have the Sugar Bowl, which was supposed to be today. It's postponed till tomorrow for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see a news thing where the was it Notre Dame and who else was playing? I don't remember who it was, but it showed like their buses were packed up and they were leaving. I don't know if they were just leaving from the French quarters and they were taking a team somewhere else. But I seen a video where they had the buses were rolling out of the quarters. So, but yeah, we have the Sugar Bowl, which is every year. We have that every year. That's like kind of like to bring in a new year. So it gets busy here because you have these people from these colleges, the families, the people that go to the university, they come to support, it's a big thing, it's the Super Bowl of colleges.
Right.
And so you have that. And then we turn around, we have Super Bowl next month, since it's January 1st. We have Super Bowl, and we also have Mardi Gras. And there are some parades that were starting, I want to say they said one was starting this weekend. We're supposed to start this weekend.
Right.
Because Mardi Gras is not just one day. It's like, it seems like it lasts for like 2 months. It lasts forever, But, so, that's another thing that's, you have big crowds and stuff. So, they're worried about that. And then you have Jazz Fest. And then you have St. Patrick's Day, which is another big celebration they have here.
Right.
So that's something they were talking about is, having,
being able
that
to protect
protection.
being able to protect the civilians from stuff like this going on and happening to them. Yeah, it's just definitely mind-boggling whenever you think about all of the issues that came from something like this. And you just never think that something like this would happen. But I will say that, normally I won't necessarily say that I would say it's piss poor planning. I wouldn't say that, because I believe that they did everything that they figured that could go wrong or would happen. I think that they were prepared for it.
Yeah, I think they were prepared for the measured part.
Right. But on top of that, I don't think that anybody would have thought, okay, there's going to be somebody going to end up, going on top of on the actual sidewalk.
They went on the sidewalk, yeah, because they were saying the barricades that they have, there's a hydraulic barricades that they had up, and that's the first thing I said. Well, how did he get through the barricade? You know, it's a big metal barricade that blocks the whole street. They hit a button, it goes up and goes down. Well, they were replacing them, and they're supposed to start today with the new barricades that come up from the ground. So you have the big round pillars, whatever you want to call them, that will come up and down, that they were getting ready for, you know, like Super Bowl and stuff, and that's supposed to go and start working, I believe, this week. And that the hydraulic ones were getting damaged by Mardi Gras bees and, you know, all that stuff that were getting jammed in there, so it was causing the hydraulics not to work. So they didn't have it up, and they knew it was going to be busy. It's always busy New Year's down there. They did have police cars. There was 2 police cars, I believe, right there on beginning of Bourbon and Canal that was blocking the street. They just didn't block the sidewalk. So, I mean, you wouldn't think someone would go on the sidewalk to try to get through. You know, people go to get through and they're like, oh, I can't get through there, you know. I've seen people plenty times, like, I have to go down there, you know, I have to pick up somebody, or, you know, I'm a cab driver or whatever. And, you know, I mean, no, they won't let you, you know, they don't let you down. You know, the only way was you can cross Bourbon sometimes, depending on what it's like down there, as far as like driving down Conti or, you know, with the side streets. And there's even times when it's busy, and I'm sure last night they were blocked off. You couldn't cross Bourbon whatsoever unless you were like way down past St. Anne, I think it was.
Right.
So you don't think of, well, now we need to block the sidewalk, you know, now we gotta block the sidewalks too. So now pedestrians can, you know, be hard for them to get down there. If you have somebody in a wheelchair, you know what I'm saying, they have to navigate through the barricades to get through, but also the people to get through to be able to enjoy, you know, Bourbon Street and have a, you know,
a good time. Yeah. And, you know, even not just talking about the New Year's and everything that just ended up happening, but driving down like Bourbon or Canal Street, when it comes down to like the pedestrians and you're inside of your vehicle, they don't move out of your way.
No. It's like every street is Bourbon Street to the pedestrians down there. And it's like, and I say it all the time. And when I have riders in my car and they're like, oh, they just keep walking in front of me. I was like, yeah. I was like, they did say it's every street's Bourbon Street, because Bourbon Street, they have free flow of the street. You know, we have to look out for the pedestrians. You know, the pedestrians have the right of way. And it's like, they forget that when they get off Bourbon, vehicles have the right of way, but we can't just go and just hit them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, anytime is crazy. It doesn't have to be nothing big going on. You know, it could just be people, you know, now this is a business season for New Orleans. You know, that's when people come out, you know, from now until July. I mean, it can be nothing big going on, but it's going to be busy down in Bourbon, you know, down in New Orleans, in the quarters. And it's trying to navigate through there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think my curiosity is what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are they going to end up making it not just better for the pedestrians, but also us drivers, you know, because it is definitely challenging, to say the least, as a driver going down in these streets, right? But pedestrians, you know, I mean, you have
and
your
drunk
life.
Pedestrians at that.
Oh my goodness gracious! You have to think about your life. You have to think about your future. You have to think about, you know, your family and all these other things whenever it comes down to being on those streets. Not to mention, you know, being shot at or the other stuff that can actually end up happening down there.
Oh yeah,
because
it's always happening down. There's always something happening down there, but not to this magnitude. Not to magnitude where you've got a terrorist attack. I mean, even if it wasn't a terrorist, if it was just somebody just doing, you know, a mass casualty type of thing, you have multiple people that lost their lives, who are still fighting for their lives, and then you have the ones that's gonna, you know, they are gonna live, but now they're gonna be trapped in this fear of going anywhere that's busy. Not, you know, they're gonna have PTSD from this. They're not gonna want to be around busy streets, or, you know, they're gonna have a fear of walking down the street, you know, on a sidewalk. You know, who's to say them people that were on the sidewalk when he first made that turn, guaranteed I'm sure quite a few of them people were hit, and they were on a sidewalk where there should never be cars. Right. So just to imagine what these people and the families and the witnesses, people that were there that, you know, they made it through, but what they saw, and now they have to go on the rest of their life trying to get their life back in order and try to live a normal life per se.
I mean,
they're going to be going through it. Yeah, it's traumatizing. It's like,
yeah.
you get to the hospital, okay, my life is back, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to live with them for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't go, this guy, I can't say his name to save my life, but
I don't even want to give his name credit, to be totally honest
no.
with you. Yeah.
Yes, he's dead. The police shot, he was killed, on site. But now they have nobody to, like, put that anger at, like a living soul. You know what I'm saying? They can't go to court and speak their words or, give their things, because there's not going to be, he got justice, sure enough, in a sense. But these people that are in the, they, to get their piece out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they can get them out. It's, that can be.
I think that what they're going to end up needing is counseling.
Major.
A lot of counseling when it comes down to something like that. I mean, let's be realistic. Whenever there is a traumatic event that's something like that goes on like that, counseling is the best way to go to be able to it'll never go away, but it's something that teaches you how to deal with it. You know? So I definitely, my heart, prayers, and wishes goes out to their families, and everybody that was affected by this ended up happening,
Which was a lot of people, because there's hundreds and hundreds of people were down there. And if it was 3 blocks, yeah, that's a good number of people who actually had to see this, that, ran for their lives, not knowing what's going on. You're hearing screaming and stuff. So when you hear screaming and you don't see it, you just, you run, you try to get, because something's going on. They're not screaming for nothing. But then, you see a car plowing down, and, you're seeing these people on the ground, and you're trying to help, but you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They've had plenty of videos, like, the police, like, they heard it. I don't know if it went called through the walkies or whatever, but they were standing there just laughing, having a good time, and all of a sudden, boom, they were gone, running towards the danger, towards what's going on. And then you had 3 officers that were they went in a gunfight with this guy. He got out of the car and opened fire, and they didn't run, they didn't hide, they shot back, and unfortunately 2 of them got shot because of it. But in the long run, he was brought to justice, I guess you can say.
So what do you feel like the takeaway from something like this should be for, like, a listener or people who feel as if they should go to the celebration that New Orleans has every year?
I tell people all the time when I'm out driving, they always ask, I always give them a heads up, be cautious of where you're at. Be mindful of where you're at. Be mindful of the people around you. You can never trust, you can't trust anybody you don't know. You can't even trust people you know sometimes. But always be mindful of your surroundings. And, something like this is going to put a scare in millions of people. They're not going to want to come down, you know what I'm saying, because of a fear. But you can't let that fear ruin you of having a good time.
Yeah.
It will be scary. I'm pretty sure it's going to put a real big damper on New Orleans, I believe. After these big events, you're not going to have a lot of the, a lot of people's probably not going to be hanging out on Bourbon Street, and it's going to really hurt the businesses down there. Because there's a lot of businesses down there, and, that's how they survive for themselves and their families, and, so not only does this affect the people that seen it, but it also affects the businesses that are down there. You have hotels and, all this stuff down there. People are not going to want to stay, down
there because of something like that. But see, my fear, I guess, not necessarily inside of a firefight or anything like that, because I've been in one before, right? I think more my fear is for the small businesses that truly, depend on this type of revenue that's coming in from
Yeah.
New Year's to especially the Super Bowl that's going
Oh yeah.
on, you know,
Yeah.
and not end up having a lot of people that ends up showing up because of something like this
Mm-hmm.
that could actually damage their livelihood because
Yeah.
of it, you know. So I guess that's where my mind typically goes, is about, you know, the businesses and
Yeah.
what's going to end up happening with them, and if at if at all, if something's going to end up if this is going to end up affecting that, you know. So I surely hope not, you know. I surely hope that, you know, because by listening to people who were actually on that news broadcast, the mayor who was there, the ex mayor ended up talking as well. You know what I'm saying? So the governor, yeah,
police chief, yeah.
Yeah, so I do believe that they're reacting relatively quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that they have a plan in place to be able to, you know,
Now it's just hopes they get that plan in action.
realized, right? Yeah. So I think that with all of that, it will maybe release some of that anxiety that some people will end up having, and allowing them to actually come and enjoy themselves without that fear being attached to it. You know, that false evidence appearing real. That's what fear stands for, you know, because once you get through it, it allows you to be able to, you know, relax and be more free, you know.
You know, another thing too, I'm sure that now with what has happened last night, police presence and security is going to be more
visible
there. They're gonna be more attentive, and I think it's really gonna change things. You know, New Orleans has got a lot of things that has come to it this year. You know, with, you know, you had Taylor Swift here, brought in a huge revenue. Beyonce had a concert, brings in a big revenue. We have the Sugar Bowl, which is every year, but now we have the Super Bowl. Mardi Gras every year. But just,
Jazz Fest.
But them three things right there, you know, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Super Bowl, all in a matter of months, has really brought in a huge revenue for New Orleans. And, you know, so it was like, it's the start of something that can be really big for New Orleans, and then to have something like this to put that damper, you know, putting that,
that gray cloud.
Because, you know, I'll tell you, you know, not being from New Orleans, being from the Midwest, I tell people, New Orleans is a whole nother country. It's amazing. It's a different vibe of people, culture, food, music, the liveliness that when you go down there. It's just like, it's almost like you're like just free. You know what I'm saying? You can go down there and just have a good time. You know, like, obviously wherever you go, stuff's gonna happen. But it's just like when you go down there, it just seems like something totally different. You know, the history that's there, you know, just, I don't know. It's very different. Right. And you would never think of something like this happening so close to home. Yeah. Like, you know, and I see, you know, how the people, you know, like you see the stuff on TV with the Boston bombings, you know, you see that, you know, but it puts in a different perspective when it's right there where you're at. You know, we're down in New Orleans every day, almost. It seems like, you know, we go down to Bourbon and walk around, and it's like, it's not something place, you know, hey, yeah, I've been down there, you know, yeah, I've been down there before, yeah, I don't remember that. No, we're all the time.
Always down there, right?
We're always down there. Not if we're not walking around down there, which we don't do a lot, we're driving. You know, as far as taking tourists and locals and taking them to and from work or to and from events, or picking them up from hotels. Yeah, you know, like, hey, where's one place I should go when you're down? You know, when I'm down here.
Right.
You know, in fact, yesterday when I did start driving, I had picked up two gentlemen from where we live here in St. Tammany and took them to New Orleans, to Bourbon Street. And they asked me, they were like, hey, where's one place we should go to while we're down here? I said, you know what? You're going to Bourbon. You're on the right place. They were younger guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to the right place. You know what I'm saying? You guys will have fun. The very first time being here. And as the stuff is coming out, I'm just praying I don't want to see anybody, you know, as being a victim or whatever. But, you know, I'm just praying that, you know, they you know, yeah, because you know, you talk to them all the time, you know, not all the time, but when you give somebody suggestions, you know, it's like, dang, you know, I kind of told them to be there. You know, it's okay to be there. You'll have fun. And then, you know, if something they were there and something like this happens, well, you know, the very first time being here at that, you know, it's not something they come here. Oh yeah, we come here all the time. You know, we visit. This is the very first time coming to New Orleans and probably seeing something traumatic like that.
Right. It's probably the last time they ended up coming because of something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and it does change. And, you know, like I said, they're younger. And it does change the way, you know, people think about hanging out, you know. It does put a different perspective on life. Like, dang, just that quick. I know New Year's, I'm here saying Happy New Year's, and this
popping
happens.
Bottles and
you know, cheers. You know, you just, you know, when you're down there, you can cut up with everybody. Everybody talks to everybody. You know, it's kind of like,
baby.
Yeah, hey sugar. Go ahead. It's okay. They're just the sweetest people down here, and then to have something like this happen, it's just, you know, it really does put a heartbreaking thing to go through. You don't want to see it happen anywhere. You know, when you see stuff happen, you're like, man, I'm glad that don't happen here. You know, it can happen anywhere. Anywhere. Any place there's a big crowd, when them terrorists are ready to attack. I mean, I guess
it can happen anywhere.
Anywhere. It doesn't have to be, even if it's not planned out. But this, I'm 100% positive this was planned out.
And see, the thing, I don't want to keep on talking about I want to kind of switch topics a little bit. But with that being said, with us, before I switch topic, with us always going down there, and we were actually planning on being there, you know, and let's be realistic. It's not all the time that we have the ability to be inside of a balcony, you know, so we would probably have been on the ground floor. So, yeah, I mean, it just could have happened, but thanks to unforeseen events that ended up happening, that we didn't end up going. You know, so
plans got canceled. And when we sat there, we debated.
Oh yeah.
We were like, so do you want to go? Do you want to go? And we debated back and forth, and we were like, oh, I mean, if you want to, it's kind of like, if you want to go, we can go. And then you're like, well, if you want to go, I mean, yeah, I want to go and have a good time, but you know, we can just go and drive around.
I don't know what I'm still young.
Aging. You know, we can.
I'm maturing. How about that? Yeah, I'm maturing.
So you know, we decided not to actually go and hang out on the streets of Bourbon, but we were actually down there with the people. And
right. And then also giving advice.
Yeah.
So switching to like one of the things that I was just talking about, like advice, like for somebody to whom would come to New Orleans and want to experience some like sights, right? What are some places that you would say to actually check out?
You know, I have people ask me all the time. There's like, what's something we should do when we come down here? And the first thing I always say, do a ghost tour.
Ghost tour?
Do a ghost tour. You're not only getting a ghost tour. And a lot of people are like, no, I ain't dealing with ghosts. I'm saying it's not that type. It's not like they're going to take you into these haunted houses or anything, you know. It's a walking tour. I said, but I'm not telling you, not only are you getting a ghost tour, you're also getting a history tour. And if you have a good guide, you're really going to enjoy. I said, we've done it, 6 times?
Probably 6 times, yeah.
And we've gone, I mean, and every time we go, we're learning something new. We're like, oh, okay. Something new. And I like it more so for the history tour, the history part of it, because it really gives you it's different when you see it in person than what you read in the history books in school. Because let's be realistic, New Orleans is in the books in school. You know, when you're in school and you're reading the books, that stuff is, you know, it's in there. So I always recommend people to do a ghost tour. And I always tell people to check out the Garden District. Go to Garden District. It's beautiful over there. And then I also let people know, check out Frenchman Street, especially the older crowd. You get the older ones. I'm like, if you be more of like a Frenchman Street person. It's just live bands and music. It's kind of like, I would tell us the adult version of bourbon.
Yeah,
because bourbon's more for like the younger kids.
I prefer Frenchman Street, to be totally honest with you, with the live music, and you can just sit and chill, and
and it's not far from. It's right there. It's just that you have Canals the beginning of the quarters, Esplanade's the ending of the quarters, and Frenchman's. It fishes off of it. It veers right off of it.
Yeah, it's just more of a grown-up type of a crowd, but it's more laid back, and you're actually getting the live music and the people to whom actually originate in New Orleans when they're playing their music there,
It's really, and it's like and it's like what, three blocks, and it's just a whole bunch of bars and pubs, and they all have jazz bands in there. So when you're outside walking, you're hearing all these different bands playing at the same time. But it comes together as to one sound. Like, it gives you a different perspective versus walking down Bourbon. Because Bourbon, you have the bands outside, you have the little drum lines out there, and don't get me wrong, them drum lines be tearing it up. Because I be sitting there, we watching, I'm like, whoa, okay, go ahead. They be down there sweating their butts off, doing their stuff, and they're young kids, just out, just trying to give the people that come to visit New Orleans and Bourbon Street a good time. You know what I'm saying? What they come for. They come for the music stuff. And let's be realistic. When people come to New Orleans, first thing you hear, bourbon. That's what's tied to New Orleans is Bourbon Street. So they don't know about Frenchmen unless someone tells you about Frenchmen. So you have these young ladies and men that have their drum line up to give these people a taste of what they're looking for. Not knowing that you can go to Frenchman Street or there's other places, that will have that live jazz in a different look, I guess you can say. But Bourbon Street, don't get me wrong, Bourbon Street is one of a kind. If you're coming and it's your first time coming, everybody has to experience Bourbon Street. And it's definitely a rowdy good time. But if you want to just be able to just like chill and hear the music, listen to the music with that, it's not so crowded, put it that way. I don't think it's Frenchman Street's not as crowded.
No, it's not as crowded, and you do get the full scope of being in New Orleans whenever you're there. But I think I would say Bourbon is more of a higher, like a X-rated.
Definitely X-rated. Yeah.
More X-rated, where
you will see any and everything.
Where
on
Frenchman
Bourbon
Street would be more PG-13 type of.
Like I said, it's more of the older crowd. You don't get it. There's young kids.
But the food down on Frenchman Street though is amazing.
The food in New Orleans anywhere is amazing.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the food. Then I also tell people too, because obviously people ain't coming just overnight, to experience that. But I always tell them to check out the French Market.
The
French Market's really nice, to go and, walk to all these vendors that have down there that, do their own thing. And then going around Jackson Square, you have all these artists, these local artists that do these amazing artworks. And, they have them sitting up there to sell and stuff. And Royal Street, Royal Street has all the little art exhibits in there, like artwork. There was a time that me and Keanu, we went down there. We couldn't even get all the way down Royal Street. We got maybe 2-3 blocks. We were going into the art shops and they were closing up. There's so much to see. Much to see.
Yeah, so much to see and do here in New Orleans, right?
Like, you can't get it done in 2 days.
Yeah.
You can't see it all, and you definitely can't eat it all.
But I try. So when you talk about eating, do you tell people, look, you should go to Cafe Du Monde, Cafe Beignet? Do you have a preference yourself?
I kind of I've had Cafe Du Monde and Cafe Beignet. Sorry, honey.
No.
I kind of like Cafe Beignet. Cafe Du Monde a little bit better.
Why? Why so?
I don't know. The beignets are a little different. I don't know.
They're smaller.
They're smaller, but I don't know. They seem more fluffier in a sense, I guess. I mean, I know you like cafe beignet because they have the different types of things.
Oh my goodness, yeah, they have different flavors, is what it is, like the strawberry beignet or the pecan beignet. But more than even that, they're a lot bigger beignets, so you get more for your.
But you know, they have that feel. You know, people talk about beignets. It's all about that powdered sugar that's going all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally eat the beignet and never wear black. Never wear nothing dark when you're gonna have a beignet. Just tell you right now, put on white, and don't ever wear white in New Orleans. So pick your oranges. But you know, that's what when people think of beignets, tourist wise, that's what they think of is just that powdered sugar all over the place. Like even when you walk down by Cafe Du Monde, the ground's covered in powdered sugar.
Like it snowed or something.
Yeah,
like that.
like it snowed. It kind of me when it tastes home. Well, Cafe Beignet they don't have an over amount of powdered sugar on theirs.
No, I mean they do if you get a regular one. You can ask for like a regular powdered sugar beignet, but I like the options. And they also have like jambalaya, which I also get that over there. Red beans and rice they have over there too. They just have more.
It's more like a little restaurant kind of more cafe.
Yeah.
You know, beignet is more kind of like a little restaurant. I don't want to say a restaurant. It's more of like a cafe.
Yeah, it's very tourist. You know, I mean, but for me,
Cafe Du Monde is just beignets and coffee.
Right, where Cafe Beignet, you have a lot more options and
selections,
things that you can actually get over there. That's just my opinion, and I really do like their beignets too. You know, but it doesn't matter where you go. The beignets in both places are very good.
It's just a matter if you want plain beignets or if you want some toppings on them. Cafe Du Monde doesn't have toppings and Cafe Beignet, but there's there's plenty of places you can go to. PJ's has beignets too, but you know, Cafe Du Monde was the original beignet. I think that's probably why they don't change it, because they don't have to do the toppings. That's the original, and that's how it was initially first made. And then people start experimenting with, let's add strawberries, let's add chocolate, let's add this. And I think Cafe Du Monde just wanted to stick to their original. Yeah. So I definitely tell people, you know, I have to get a beignet, you know. But now, on the other food stuff, it depends what you're talking
about. Are you going to talk about chicken? Is that what you're talking about?
Who said anything about chicken?
What? So there's this place called Maro's. It's spelled just like tomorrow. Just take off the two, right? It is, in my opinion, one of the best places to have fried chicken. Baked chicken. I mean, they have a lot of different selections of food. And one of these times, I'm going to end up doing maybe a TikTok or a podcast or something like that, so that way people can actually have the opportunity to see it. But man, I really do enjoy the food over in Maro's. Now,
it's good.
Now, this is the thing. In my opinion, this is the difference. In Maro's, you have different sides that you can get, right? Now there is another place called
Gus's world famous fried chicken.
Right.
They are the best fried chicken, and
their chicken is very good.
But it's just fried chicken. Now Maro's, they have the baked chicken. They have different options. And now I got their baked chicken, and it was good. I didn't say it wasn't good, but we talking about fried chicken. Justice has the best, and they have sides too, y'all. They have sides too.
They have macaroni and cheese, fries,
fried yogurt, okra, beans.
What beans?
Baked beans, honey.
Oh, baked beans. Yes, baked beans.
Don't they have greens too?
No, they don't have greens.
They have quite a few sides. I can't remember what else it was, but
I think it was the okra, but I don't recall. No, they didn't have any greens. No green beans.
I don't know, but baby, when I tell you, when you go up in there. Them folks in there be treating you like, look, they's from real.
Like they family.
They be in there, yes, they be in there cutting up. But I'll tell you what, like their chicken, you can't say they ain't hungry. It's very good. It's very good. You just
spicy.
It's spicy, but they don't ask if you want spicy, mild.
You get it
one season.
Yes.
And it's spicy. But it's so good. So good.
Yeah.
The seasoned fries, them big.
Yeah, the fries is pretty on point too.
Yeah.
However, sometimes you just want a meal, not just chicken.
You can get a meal.
Yeah, that's why I go to Monroe's. Get that
Get
meal.
fries. You can get some fries. It's a meal. It's a meal, honey. They even give you some bread with it.
Oh no, that's to soak up the grease. That's what that bread is for. Oh my
But
Lord.
good. But it's good though, and it's not expensive. And there's plenty of times that I do recall that you have come home and you've had Gus's fried chicken and didn't bring me none. So
see, what happened
was you could have went tomorrow's and got your chicken.
See what happened?
No.
If you go tomorrow's, you got to wait. It's a wait to get in tomorrow's.
It is a wait. It's a very small establishment.
Yeah.
Very popular establishment. They do need to expand. Kind of like how Mothers was small,
I love Mothers,
and they
though.
expanded.
Yeah,
So
I really like
Mothers is still
on
very
Poydras Street. For those who are listening,
Poydras. What's the other street?
Mothers is on Poydras Street.
What's the other street it's on?
Mothers is on Poydras Street.
And
Chapatulas. Yes, there you go.
Poydras and Chop.
So, but I do want to end up, reviewing some other restaurants, and they have a lot of other TikTokers and podcasters and stuff like that review a lot of restaurants in New Orleans, and we be seeing some of them.
I don't know if you could ever get them all reviewed though. There's so many. Everybody's like, "Where's a good place to eat?" I have to tell them, no matter where you go, baby, you're gonna get good food. I have not picked up anybody that said, "Oh my God, that food was terrible." And when I tell people, explore outside the French Quarters. French Quarters is amazing, but if you go out to these Uptown, the Garden District, Marigny, Bywater, you will be walking in a neighborhood, and dead smack in the middle of the neighborhood, these houses will be a restaurant, and you wouldn't even know it, and they'd be the best food.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I pick some people up, and I ask them, I'm like, "So how's your day?" "Oh, we just had the best meal ever." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And here I'm thinking it's a house. I thought maybe it was an Airbnb because I drop people off there so much, pick them up. No, it's a restaurant. Look just like a house in the middle of the dang old neighborhood.
You know what's funny though is like there are so many great restaurants here that it's like, oh my, like real talk. Whenever I first came to New Orleans and ate at this place called Bobby Hebert's, right? It looked like it's spelled Herbert, but it's actually Hebert, right? So whenever
Previously played for the Saints.
Yeah, he was a quarterback for the Saints, right? So that was the first restaurant that I went to here, and when I ate their food, I was like, I have been eating my whole life, and I have never had food like this before. Like, this is the best food I've ever had in my life. Like,
it's more than just salt and pepper and seasoning salt, huh?
Right. And yeah, like seasoning salt and pepper. What's going on? What's really going on, right?
We're on a seasoning conference.
Like, what is this? Slap your mama? Nah, I'm good. Right?
Now it's like, where that slap your mama at?
Right, right. But so it's like, man, I swear up and down that those Cajun fries changed my life. Like, man.
Changed my life too. Because me, being Midwest, I mean, you Midwest too, but you eat everything. I don't do seafood. I do not do seafood. It's not because of the taste, it's the smell. I can't do the smell. It smells like fish. I can't do it. Can't do it. I've tried lobster. Take that back. When I was younger, my uncle used to live in Baltimore. And I remember he got some crab, and he put them mugs in the dang on pot when they was live. And I cracked them bad boys open and eat them and stuff. But then, I don't know, I got older, and I was like, that stuff be crawling at the bottom of the ocean. That stuff is nasty. I don't mess with seafood no more. Look, but when I moved here, and you forced me to try them fries, and you was like, you have to get these fries. And then they came, and so we got the fries. I think we shared them the first time.
Yeah, we shared.
And you was like, do you want some debris? I don't want no damn debris. What do I want some debris for? I'm thinking, debris. You hear debris. What you think that is? Debris.
A wreck on the road.
On the side of the road. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't want no debris. Well, you got debris on the side. But I'll tell you what. And I knew what was in the fries because I looked at the menu. and I seen what was in there.
The crawfish.
But he couldn't just let me just eat it. He has to say, there's crawfish in there. Can I just eat the fries, please? So yes, I have had crawfish twice. And that was both times we went to Bobby Ager's. You tried to get me to eat crawfish before?
No.
And, I mean, you got it there, you peeled it, and I...
Can't
nope,
do it.
Can't do the smell.
Can't do it.
You got me. I ate some oysters.
Mm-hmm.
But I only eat oysters from Chimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I eat them oysters. You got me eating some damn gator.
Hey, but you kill that gator at walk-ons. You kill that gator.
It's not the gator, it's the sauce. That is just like a tougher chicken nugget. I mean, it's like chicken.
It's like a marriage
tougher.
between chicken and fish. That's if you ask me.
Because fish is flaky.
No,
This was.
Yeah.
Gator is tougher.
It is.
It's a little bit. It's a marriage between chicken and steak. Because it's a little bit tougher. And so, yes, but it's a dipping sauce. And then what else have I eaten? There's something else I ate. Oh, you haven't eaten. What's that one stuff? Squid with them little
calamari.
That was them little fried things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ate them. I didn't care for them, but I ate them.
Yeah.
And there was something else too that you haven't eaten that was seafood. You got me to try the lobster. I couldn't do the lobster because it was just the smell.
Yeah, I try and broaden your palate a little bit.
There's some times out there like, do you like this? And I'm like, I don't know, let him take them. He'll tell you if I like it. And he'd be honest, he'd be like, oh, I think you might like this. There's a fish. What kind of fish is that? Because I did like I do catfish and I do
mahi. You like mahi?
Yeah, I like mahi. It's more of a meatier fish.
Yeah.
But there was another fish that.
That's about.
I mean, it wasn't catfish. I always ate tilapia. Because back home, I made spaghetti. They make fish, so when we had spaghetti, it was spaghetti and fried fish. Mm-hmm. That's how we did. But I dusted it.
Your mic. So try not to touch it.
Can you hear me now?
Get excited.
But I would always douse it in hot sauce to cover up the fish smell. So when I'm eating it, I'm not smelling the fish. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so now when I talk to people when I'm down here, they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to get some crawfish. Where's some good crawfish?" So I'm like, the best crawfish that I know of is drive-through crawfish drive-through. Mm-hmm. I said, but that's on the North Shore where I live. I don't eat it because I don't like crawfish. And then they look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, how can you live here? And I'm not from here.
Right.
That's the first statement. I'm not from here. So I'm not used to the seafood and stuff.
I kill it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a place I know of. That's what he likes. Like, he swears up and down that's the best crawfish. So that's the one I recommend. But I tell people, don't go to the food chains. Mm-hmm. Don't go to Drago's. Don't go to what's the other big food chain?
Well, it's not necessarily don't go to them. Just like broaden your horizon to different things.
Well, they have to be made a certain way. Mm-hmm. When you're going to food chains, the stuff has to be made a certain way. So if you really want that Cajun, Southern, Creole food, you need to go to these mom and pop places, as they call it, or hole in the walls is what we like to call them. Because you're going to get the real Creole, Cajun, spice food. So I'm not knocking the big food chains, but when people say, like, I want some real good Southern soul food, you can't go to the food chains and get it. You have to go to these mom and pop, these local people, because they've been making it for years. Right. To where you go to food chains, it has to be made a certain way. It has to be prepped a certain way. Now, don't get me wrong, because when you go to Popeyes here and the Popeyes up there in Ohio, the Popeyes here is better. It's seasoned different. Even McDonald's, burgers here has their seasoning is different here than what it is up there. So there is changes in that way. But if you want some real soul, either that or you go to them local food trucks. People be down at Bourbon Street or be down in the quarters at nighttime, and they're like, "Where's the best place to go to eat?" And I tell them, there's nothing open late down in the quarters as far as restaurant food besides IHOP and Waffle House. But you can get that anywhere. So I tell them, I say, you see these little food trucks that be sitting by the casino or sitting over by Frenchman Street. That's where you're going to hit them up, because that's where you're going to get the, what I'm saying, it's real,
real good
it's
food,
it's real good food. there's not many places down there that's open 24 hours. If they had a restaurant that opened up and was open 24 hours, or they were open till like 4 5 o'clock in the morning, so you might as well be 24 hours, they would make a killing. Because people leave basketball games, they don't get out till late. When there's Sunday night football or Thursday night football game here, concerts, they get out late and they're like, man, I'm hungry, you know what I'm saying? Because, you're paying a lot of money there at the, establishments to get
stands and stuff inside of it.
So when they get out, they're hungry and it's like, man, where can we go get a place to eat? And I'm like, man, there's not much open around here, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say go to McDonald's and stuff, but that's like the only thing that's open, because when you come here to visit, you can get McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and IHOP, and you can get that anywhere just about. You come here, you want some,
Creole food,
good food,
nice food, yeah.
And so if y'all know any place that's open really late, down in the quarters,
please let us know.
Please let us know, because, like I said, we drive, we do share ride, and people ask us all the time. We get it all the time. Where's a good place to eat late at night? And there's not places open up late at night down there that I've seen of.
That we know of, right?
Yeah, besides like Willie's Chicken and Voodoo Chicken, and they're good. Don't get me wrong. Again, you can get chicken anywhere. People want to get like a good, maybe not so much of a sit down meal, but they don't want to go and just get chicken and pizza.
Right. So being that this is our New Year's episode, right? I believe I already asked you this. I know you don't make necessarily New Year's resolutions, right? But what do you feel like that you've learned from last year that you feel like you're not going to end up bringing on or doing this year, or you may need to adjust this year, or
Well, I don't know. I didn't have a real bad year last year, as well as the year before, but trying to be more active with family being so far away. We don't see family as much.
Okay.
And it's trying to be more active in the kids' life as much as possible from a distance. I know I talk to them all the time, but to me it's like it's not enough. So I want to try to be more involved and not physically present for things, but being able to be, I don't know how to put it. Like, I don't do New Year's resolutions because I don't want to set myself up for failure per se, because there's times I did do New Year's resolutions, but then it's like when it failed, it just kind of like really brought me down. So I don't look for New Year's resolutions. I just try to, I guess my New Year's resolution would be to do better what I did than I did the year before. Okay. Try to change some things for the better, or stop doing some things.
Okay. So, in saying that same question to myself, right? As in, what do I feel like I won't be bringing into this year that I learned from last year that I'm not going to be bringing into this year, or something that I may end up wanting to change, or what have you. I think I want to attempt to be more present, in the sense that it's not that I'm not present, is that like there's so much stuff that's going on that it can become mind-boggling to, okay, what do I need to put my attention to?
Prioritize.
Yeah. So, okay, I know I need to do this. I know I need to do that. And how much attention do I need to end up putting here? How much attention do I need to end up doing that for this right here? And then things get lost in translation, So I want to try and become more present, and especially being present in the moment and enjoy that particular moment, because, you only have that moment.
Right.
So that's what I want to end up doing this year. Not saying that I didn't do it last year, but I want to do it more this year.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of stuff going on this year too.
Oh my goodness.
We have a busy least until June is busy. No, I'm gonna say busy, but we've got.
No, it's gonna be busy. You're right. It's gonna be busy.
You know, we gotta find time and make a trip to Cali.
Mm-hmm.
And then in June, we got the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Atia's getting married. Yeah.
Yep. My baby's getting married.
So yeah, that's where my mind frame is right now, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this year.
And I'm excited to do more adventures. You know, we did do the Albuquerque thing, and that was fun. So, looking forward to do a big road trip like that again. I think it'd be good if we did at least like one of them a year, like a big road trip like that. You know, yeah, we should still do smaller ones, but like just going someplace. Maybe we can go to like.
Stay tuned for that one. We don't know where we're gonna go. Let's stay tuned for that one. Right.
You can do a 2-week trip to Alaska.
Oh Lord.
To see the Northern Lights.
We probably won't be doing that, but
it's on my bucket list, guys. Help me out.
All right.
But no, honestly, you guys, if you guys do have any insights of places to eat, things to do in New Orleans, you know, the locals or whatever, or even if you're a tourist and you've been here and you were like, oh my God, I did this, it is so amazing, you know, let us know so we can pass it on to people when we see, you know, they ask us for advice of places to go, things to do, places to eat, what to see, where not to go. If you guys have any insight on that, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leave us a comment.
I mean, we also end up going ourselves and record that we actually been there, whether we put it on our TikTok page or we end up doing a podcast on it or what have you. So any suggestions would be much appreciated. All right. Now, look, with that being said, it was great. I had an amazing time talking with my co-host, Heather. And we actually look forward to this year putting out more content. Currently, we do at least one a month. However, we may end up doing more content. I'm not going to say twice a month, but I do want to get to that point at least. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Bye now.
Bye, guys. And thoughts and prayers to everybody that was affected by the traumatic events that happened in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Bye. Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the show today. Thank you for watching ITFITSS podcast. If you would like, comment, and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye.